Hello, I'm Paul Roots. This is Kristen Schock, who has already introduced herself. And this is my wife, Whitney. Why are we here today, Whit?
Hey, we are here to talk about the collaboration with my Giant's Ass Cinnamon Roll fundraiser and Clatsop Community College's art department, we're calling it the Giant Give, benefiting the Clatsop Community Action Food Bank, which is part of the Oregon Food Bank Network.
Woo! Can you tell us, Kristen, what's the key stuff about what this show is about? What are we going to see?
Well, we are going to see boxes that were decorated by my students and other students here at the college, as well as in the wider community, in the Astoria wider community, and Portland as well.
Right on. These are cake boxes, right? Which we're going to show on screen as well. Tell me the origin story. How did we get to cake boxes?
Oh my goodness. Well, the origin story starts nearly a year ago when COVID isolation started for all of us, when we were locked in our homes and very sad. And I turned to my daughter one morning and said, I really need to feel better. Let's make a giant ass cinnamon roll. She said, okay. So we made this giant ass cinnamon roll, and I took some pictures of it and posted on social media. People started saying, I want one. Ooh, can I drive up to Portland and get one? And then later that night I thought, would someone really pay for a giant cinnamon roll? Maybe. Why don't I put it up for auction, see who bids the highest amount, and then we'll give the money to the Oregon Food Bank. And I thought $50 tops.
50 bucks!
$50, it feeds 12 people, so it's big. It is worthy of $50.
It's worth 50 bucks.
But the first cinnamon roll sold for $300, and that money went to the food bank. Now, without telling every last detail of where we went next, it eventually evolved into this fundraiser where my daughter and sister and I were making these giant ass cinnamon rolls for every $500 raised to my Oregon Food Bank fundraising website, and giving the cinnamon rolls to healthcare workers who were working on the front line for COVID. And the boxes were pretty plain at first, and then I got my daughter decorating them. And
Can you pause for a sec? So how did it start? We had boxes, but before that, as I recall, there was a cinnamon roll. Like you made a cinnamon roll, and it was like, oh, now I need to deliver it.
Right, that first $300 cinnamon roll, I remember being so nervous that somebody spent $300 on a cinnamon roll, and so I don't want to drop it, like, let's be really careful, and I jimmied up this piece of cardboard and foil. It was terrible.
Oh, it was great. It was aluminum foil, right? It looked like a spaceship.
And I had toothpicks on top of the cinnamon roll so that the icing wouldn't get on the foil. And then as this started to get really popular, I said, we've got to do something else. So I went to a bakery wholesale website and found the largest box that I could, 6 inches tall, 12 inches wide. But they were plain and they were boring. So I asked my bored daughter if she would decorate some boxes for us. Giant ass cinnamon roll, just like, make it colorful, whatever, do something fun. And so she did it, and it was very lovely. It was very sweet, and it was very cute. But long story short, it wasn't as pizzazzy as maybe it could have been. So as we started making all of these cinnamon rolls, Storm Large of Pink Martini reached out to us and asked if she could start delivering these cinnamon rolls for us. Because, there were days where we were making 12 and 15 cinnamon rolls.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you remember.
Those were full cinnamon days.
And so Storm showed up to our house, but with, the intent of, I'm going to go and deliver these rolls. And she sees the artwork that Elsie and her friends have done, and she's like, you call this artwork? Like,
Right.
I could do so much better.
She's making fun of our daughter on social media.
Right, right. Which was a good thing.
Which was a good
Because
thing.
we gave her, I think, 6 or 7 blank boxes. And I said, Storm, you go for it. You try to pretty up some boxes. And then we'll put those boxes up for auction. And let's just see how much money we can get for the food bank. I wish I could remember, and I'll have to go back at some point and look, how much each box sold for that week. Because we had a whole week of Storm large boxes. I mean, it certainly in the tens of thousands of dollars range. And so from there, you were like, I'm an artist.
I need to defend the honor of the family
Right.
a little bit. Yeah.
The artist in residence at our home was like, I can draw and paint and make decorations on boxes. So then you got into it, and you, I think, had another weekly segment of me doing funny faces, of me holding 2
Oh,
cast
yeah.
iron skillets
Yeah.
with the cinnamon rolls, and one of them, the one of me making that funny face, I don't want to do on camera right now. That sold for, I think, either $1,500 or $1,800 to a very nice Canadian philanthropist who then gifted it to Katie Lang
Right.
because she is a friend of ours and he knew how much she liked the box. And then we started reaching out to other Portland artists, folks that you've been connected with, maybe even through the All Natural connection. And then the highest bidded box we had was $3,500, and it was one you did of KD that she autographed.
Yeah, she was great about that.
For us.
Absolutely.
And meanwhile, all of this money is going to the food bank. We are not, there's no middleman. It was the Oregon Food Bank set up this website for us for donations to go directly to that site. It was so great.
Just to quickly, they were amazing, right? They saw potential, and they said, okay, we're gonna set this entire thing up for you, this website, make it really streamlined and easy.
Yeah, they are an incredibly efficient organization. I'm not going to get the number right, but it's something about 90% of every dollar donated goes to actually feeding people, which is so important, especially with all these organizations that you can send your money to. Like, what's the biggest impact? And they have just been really wonderful and obviously deserving of the support, especially in this time. Their need is up 70%. Demand, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's kind of how. That's how we started delivering cinnamon rolls to healthcare workers, but then also the decorative aspect of it really started with Storm making fun of our daughter, and then you making fun of Storm.
Yes, it turned into a mock Twitter thing, which was fun for I think, all of us amazingly bored people. You guys remember?
Yeah.
Almost a year ago. Can we talk about the variety of what sorts of images are going on in the boxes and that kind of thing?
Oh, absolutely. There's a whole range. We did invite Au Naturel artists in the area, so we'll have some beauty boxes. I had my life drawing class also do some beauty boxes. My painting class, we focused on landscapes. There'll be some landscapes. Just kind of an open-ended subject for a lot of my painting students. My design class did some color studies, so abstract designs. And then the community has been doing a whole range of things. We got a beautiful oil pastel potato done by Noel Thomas.
Yeah, it is gorgeous.
And floral designs, all kinds of things. So there's a full range of imagery.
Right, super colorful, really intricate dots all the way to black and white swirls of fun. Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful array. Kristen Orwit, tell me about how it works. Where do we see this stuff? How do we bid? What do we do?
Well, Kristen, why don't you start with the gallery portion?
Okay, so we are going to have a physical show here in the gallery. We're going to be setting it up this coming week. So March 4th officially we open. So you're welcome to come into the gallery. 6 people at a time may come in, of course, wearing masks and proper social distancing. If you're not able to come up to the gallery itself, we will have the show posted online. And Whitney, why don't you share about the bidding part?
Yeah, so every box will be photographed, and we will have them on, well, not only your website, but a very specific fundraising website through the Oregon Food Bank that will have all the boxes numbered, and we'll have that also on my Twitter feed and on my Instagram feed. So there are several different places that you can find the images for the boxes. And then each box will be labeled with a number. So, here's box number 1, here's box number 2, here's box number 3. We'll have a grid of them and one image on each of these websites. And you see a box you like, you donate to this fundraising website.
Which is through your Oregon Food Bank link.
Yeah, which we will have, I think we'll have it on your website. It will be on my Instagram and my LinkedIn profile. It'll be all over Twitter. Truly, if you have a hard time finding it, you can also, I think, just Google or go to Oregon Food Bank's website and find it there. But as you make a donation to the Oregon Food Bank's website through my page, you can make a comment about which box this specific donation is going towards. So let's say I want to bid $10 on box number 2, that would be one donation. I'm gonna bid, I see that box number 3 is up to like $50. I'm gonna bid $55 on that one. So we'll kind of have a silent auction, if you will, but you'll be able to see those in the comments on the fundraising website, and we'll certainly have updates over the 2 weeks that the show is open. So then on March 18th, we will see who has the highest bid for each box, and that will be the winner of the box, of the art. I mean, it's not just a box, this is art. And some of these artists' normal artwork goes for thousands of dollars. So I just think it's so great. Not only would you be getting a piece of original artwork, but you will be giving to the Oregon Food Bank, because every dollar equates to 3 meals. I mean,
Speaking of incredibly efficient.
Yeah, I mean, how much better can it get?
Yeah, so did you contribute a box, Whitney?
No. I will not. My designs, I use my daughter's markers I'll ask her, hey, I gotta deliver this box today. Do you want to decorate? No, I don't want to. And it's like, oh my gosh, what am I going to write on it? I'm not, as Kristen would say, my creativity is in the kitchen. It is not on the box.
You'll take a full-fisted pastel situation
Totally.
and just get it out the door.
No, I have no box in this game.
No box in this game, but you have many cinnamon rolls in your recent past, and the trend has slowed a little bit. Do you want to talk about the difference between early COVID to now?
I mean, our first take on this was every $500 raised is a cinnamon roll. And we've raised over $55,000. So that's, over 100 cinnamon rolls. I think to date, we've made over 125 of them. It was tiring. I have a full-time job. So it was honestly, it was just hard to keep up.
How many cinnamon rolls have you made in the last 24 hours?
3.
3!
So we are still making them.
Mm-hmm.
And actually that's what happens after this, I think is the question that we need to ask ourselves next. I certainly still think that our healthcare workers deserve a giant ass thanks for all that they've done for our entire community. So while we can't have them in hospitals right now, I want to think of a way that community members can still donate to the Oregon Food Bank to feed people, but then to also, as gratitude towards our healthcare workers, give them a giant sweet treat. So that may be where we go next. Now, I don't want to make any promises, because when this started back in March of 2020, someone asked me, how long are you going to be baking cinnamon rolls for healthcare workers? And I said, I'm going to bake until COVID's over.
Yeah.
Having no idea that it could, I mean, it probably will go on for a long time. So
It was the same way as I was gonna not cut my hair till COVID was over.
it got bad.
Just last a long time.
Yeah, I did that
Some
haircut.
Long
It's a
hair.
great haircut.
Thanks. That will not be something I pick up in COVID as a second gig. Haircutting.
Yeah. Why cinnamon rolls? Why not some other baked fantastic?
You know, I'm a really good chocolate chip cookie baker,
Yes, you are.
but they're small. And the weekend we made that giant ass cinnamon roll was our daughter's birthday. Her birthday party had been canceled.
Yeah, mid-March.
She was
yeah.
turning 7, and so it was just like, let's do something outrageous that we wouldn't normally do on a Sunday morning. And I had made these giant ass cinnamon rolls in the past for our Hood to Coast team,
Yeah.
and they were a big hit. And I was like, well, I mean, we're not going anywhere. Let's make the house smell like cinnamon rolls. And I mean, I don't know if it would have worked, if it would have gone as viral and really taken off without the giant assness of it.
Yeah. Well, to speak about, okay, so that actually sparks a really interesting question, because the takeoff of it, the way that it became something, it was organic to the bazaar of cinnamon rolls, and it certainly connected with all of our, kind of thumb twiddling world that we were in a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
But like, what else helped make it special and known and available as an event?
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm going to answer your question right, but I can also say that these boxes going into the hospitals, I mean, I never physically myself entered the hospital because of safety concerns, but we would drop them off with like either a nurse or a doctor or a technician, therapist that we knew, and they'd go in to the hospital with all these boxes, and they were so excited, and it smells so good. I mean, Storm would say her car smelled like Christmas.
Yeah.
And it just brought happiness to these people who were spending hours trying to save lives, sweaty and under these masks. And I know that they wear masks anyway with, procedures that they do, but here they were like double masks and having marks on their face, and they're tired and they're seeing people die. And this is where I'm going to start crying, because they just needed somebody, or maybe this is what I think. I think they needed to know that somebody cared that they were there.
Yeah.
And that their job is not thankless, and we're thinking about them. Yeah, that mattered. I mean, how this started was I just felt like I needed to do something.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning of this, it just felt like we couldn't do anything. Like, what good are we? We're not in the medical field. We can't help people. Wow, I went off on that one.
Well, and it was acute then, and I think, where I'm headed, I guess, with this is like, it was new, it was bizarre. Oh my, what's lockdown even supposed to be? What am I supposed to leave my mail out for 24 hours? What's the deal? How do we do it? And now we're all used to this.
Yeah.
And I think what was this let's all band together feeling has become different. And that's, in my opinion, where the need is even greater for what you sparked.
Yeah.
You know, to continue to kind of feed that flame of care for each other. Because I mean, as we know in our marriage, right? It's really hard to be enough these days.
Right. Well, that's why I think it's so great that we haven't, because we're not making or baking as many cinnamon rolls, certainly, as we were 10 months ago. We have the resources, and we have these leftover cinnamon roll boxes that are beautiful blank canvases for people to be creative. I mean, I hope that most of the artists who've done these boxes feel like, not only it's like a creative outlet, but like they are directly helping their community.
How do you feel about it?
Well, maybe I'll tell the little story about when I first found out about this wonderful fundraiser you were doing. Paul, who's one of our own natural artists, had left one of his big, beautiful paintings right here on the wall.
Not this one.
Not this one. This is not his. This is Modu. We'll talk more about that.
In another way.
But it was right here in this spot 4 months after the show came down.
Yeah.
And he wasn't able to come up and pick it up. And so when Whitney and Paul finally came, we met for lunch and we were getting caught up on what they've been doing. And she told me about this wonderful thing, and I got so excited. And I said, "Well, how can our students get involved? How can our community get involved?" And so we came up with this idea to have the show here in this gallery and raise money for our local food bank here in Clatsop County. And so I think I wandered off the question.
Oh, well, there's another way of asking me where I was going. Like, what's it like to preside over a class doing this? What are students saying?
Well, I have to share on Wednesday this past week, my life drawing class. We decided to dedicate a day to doing nudie boxes. And our wonderful model, Jamie Brown, came up and we were drawing. It's such a great surface to work on. And we discovered oil pastel works so great. And so we created at least 8 boxes for the show that day. And, it feels so good because not only are we creating, which is always so good for our own personal, well-being, I think, but to know that this is for a greater cause. So that's just doubly uplifting.
Well, and I think a lot these days of, okay, when, this entire past year of essential workers and, the people who are doing things that are just obviously important. I'm a painter. I make portraits for a living. What am I supposed to do? And I think that moment long moment, as in weeks long moment of doubt, folds back into a mission around, okay, I make images for a living. Those images can be directed at what matters, and then that makes me think a lot about all the reasons why we have icons and so on, right? They do galvanize us. And so I think it's really great to be a part of, pulling students into that, direct mission and going like, look, your stuff matters, doesn't it? I think that's super powerful.
It is, and I think sometimes we grapple as visual artists, like, is this self-indulgent, And so to be able to direct this creative energy towards this cause, I think really is important.
Yeah, and then the imagery itself, there's everything from the potato, yes, food bank, to some other, I think, COVID-related things, right? We're gonna do small, I did a pointillism, right? Like, I'm just like, let me just meditate on, a shoulder. And I think other people did that sort of thing, right? This sort of like soothing, Zen-like
Well, we did
activity.
in my design class last fall, exactly. We did Zentangle, so we have a couple of beautiful Zentangle boxes that you'll see in the exhibit.
Yeah. And so I think the variety of work itself, as much as it's not, COVID type theme, there's flavors that fit our time, which is really fun too. All right, well, do we have anything else?
Gosh, do we have anything else?
We covered a lot of ground.
We did.
We did cover a lot of ground. Okay, so again, how do we see the artworks?
Well, the artwork will be displayed here physically in the gallery, so please come up to the Royal Nebuchadnezzar Gallery if you're able to. Like I said, we are practicing safe practices, social distancing, 6 people at a time in the gallery. And you can also see it online, so go to our college webpage and we have a special gallery site.
So Clatsop Community College
Clatsop
webpage.
Community College webpage, and we'll have a link here to the gallery, so you'll be able to view the show.
Okay, and then also it's on social media, Whitney's Giant Ass Cinnamon Roll.
Well, that's not Instagram. It's Giant Ass Cinnamon Roll.
Giant Ass Cinnamon Roll on Instagram.
Twitter.
Twitter.
It's Giant Ass Cin Roll because they have a character limit. And we can put all this on the website, and we'll actually put it on this presentation right now. We'll put that on the video. And then, of course, I think the most important link is the fundraising page, which is Whitney's Giant Cinnamon Roll fundraising page through the Oregon Food Bank. That is where you will need to make your donation and claim the box in which your bid is going towards.
In the comment section.
In the comment
box
section.
number,
Yeah.
whatever.
And I think, we can be flexible. If you make a $100 bid and you want to split it between 2 boxes, just put it in the comments. We'll figure it out. And I'm really, really excited to see the potential bidding wars that we'll get in. But I can't reiterate this enough, that these boxes are so unique, so beautiful, and it's a double whammy.
Surprisingly so.
You get
Yes.
artwork and you help people eat.
Bonus.
Yeah.
Thank you both so much.
Thank you, Kristen. I'm so glad we had lunch in September.
Oh, me too. And thank you for making this all happen. I can't tell you what a wonderful thing it is to have in our gallery in this moment. It's really uplifting.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Good stuff. Let's do a cut. Elsa, daughter.